It's so easy to fall into this trap of tying our self-worth to these external markers of success and validation, physical appearance, social status, relationships. These things often become the indicators by which we measure our value. And social media has made this even worse. We're constantly bombarded with messages that equate our value to our job titles, our bank accounts, the number of likes. And this really had me reflecting on where do we find our self-worth? If everything that gave you confidence was taken away, then who would you be? Who would you be?
You want more watermelon?
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been so long since I last made a video, and it feels really good to be back. First of all, if you're new here, hello, my name is Adrian, known as a father, a husband, a university graduate, also a university dropout, more about that later. But it's crazy how much my title has really morphed over the years on this channel. I first started this YouTube channel in 2019 in my first year of uni, and back then I was Adrian, known as an international student studying biomedical science at the University of Western Australia. And then I graduated. I became Adrian, known as a master's student at the University of Western Australia. But for those of you that have been watching my content for a while now, then you all will know that I cheated the life game. I became a father and a husband in just a couple of months. And to be honest, I haven't made a video in quite a long time because, in all honesty, I just felt lost. I've been feeling very lost. And who was I? A father? A husband? A student? To make matters more confusing, I also actually dropped out of university a few months ago, 9 months ago, I believe. So to make matters more confusing, I also lost sight of my career path. Everything that made me who I was no more. And it was a very scary and petrifying feeling, but as I look back now, I'm so grateful for this period, because in losing everything that made me Adrian, was I really able to see who I was in Christ? And I think that's when I realized that I had attached my life to all these different titles when in reality, that wasn't who I was to begin with. And that's something I see very clearly now. It's so easy to feel like you are your job, you are your degree, you are your insert whatever title, a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, a student. But that's really what I want to talk to you guys about in this video. Hitting low points in my life helped me to see how much of my value and my purpose was placed in things of this world, and that it is only in Christ that true purpose, joy, and peace is really found. I always knew I was a Christian. But it was always like a secondary thing. I was a student who also happened to be a Christian, or a father who also happened to be a Christian. But identifying first as a Christian, Christian father, Christian husband, was significant because it reflected a change in identity and priorities. To many people, this might seem like a minor thing, like it's just semantics, but by placing Christian first in that sequence, in that sentence, I was able to acknowledge that my identity was first rooted in being a Christian, something that no one could take away from me, regardless of my circumstances. To be honest, what really, motivated this video was I caught up with a friend a few weeks ago, and he was someone that was facing very low self-esteem, a lot of insecurities, a lot of depression, simply because of the fact that he had no job, he had no girlfriend, he still lived in his parents' house, and he just really felt like he hadn't really lived life. It's so easy to fall into this trap of tying our self-worth to these external markers of success and validation, physical appearance, social status, relationships. These things often become the indicators by which we measure our value. And social media has made this even worse. We're constantly bombarded with messages that equate our value to our job titles, our bank accounts, the number of likes. And this really had me reflecting on where do we find our self-worth? If everything that gave you confidence was taken away, then who would you be? Who would you be? I wanted to share this story because, we've transitioned to a time where identity is such an important thing. It's such a topic. And I speak to so many people who feel like they will become a somebody when they become a doctor or when they become a successful entrepreneur. I speak to so many people who feel like their true purpose and calling is found in being in a relationship, being a girlfriend or being a boyfriend, maybe being a parent. But again, I want to ask you, if everything that made you who you are, if everything that made you feel confident was taken away, then who would you be? I'm not an idiot. I know that not everybody who watches these videos are Christian. And this video might even offend some people because maybe you're somebody who's built their entire life. They found their entire meaning and purpose in their career or maybe in their relationship. But in a world that is constantly preaching to become a somebody when you've completed XYZ, to become a somebody when you are ... I just wanted to share some truth. I was that person. And I always felt like I had to become a certain type of person to become important or to have meaning in this world. But giving my life to Christ was the best decision of my life. No longer was my identity and my self-worth tied to my accomplishments, but who Christ says I am. A beloved child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen and dearly loved, and called to a purpose that transcends worldly standards. And knowing this to be my identity, I no longer work hard to prove myself capable to my friends and my family. I no longer work hard to prove myself capable to my colleagues. I no longer work hard to prove myself worthy. No, I work hard at my job because that is what God has called me to do. I work hard at my marriage. I work hard at being a good father. I work hard at being a better colleague, a better church member. Not because my worth depends on it, but because that is what God has called me to do.